Hello.
Can't believe you.
Oh, it's got to be good. How are you? Fantastic. Happy,
Amazing.
happy St. Andrew's Day. How's it going?
Oh, very weird. Lang may your lumreek.
Hey.
You know what that means?
But you better translate for me, Aline.
Your lum is your chimney. Lang may your lumreek. Long may your chimney reek. Oh, well, reek. May.
Oh, good. Well,
may your fire never go out.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, that sounds good. I had this terrible picture of reeking chimneys, which doesn't sound nearly as good.
No, that's right. Well, it's sort of the same thing. Now, just hang on 1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute. Right. Okay, here we go. We love it. It's always a thrill. There you go. Well, welcome back. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. Well, it's wonderful.
In my hand.
That's fine. It's wonderful to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm all right, darling. I couldn't. They couldn't get me on.
No, you're here now. This is lovely. So we're live. Wonderful.
I had about 6 different people ringing me up.
I know, it's exciting. I have a whole team. This is the great thing. I'm no longer. See, this is the great thing about, I thought I'd get you on Zoom because you're used to Zoom, and I thought that's easy. But I now have like an army of people.
Donald, where's your truth? Oh,
I know.
Gone.
I'll tell you what I thought. What I thought is so it's very different now. It's no longer in these Zoom rooms because it's what I have a whole army, and it's great because it's real TV studio and that sort of stuff. And we got cameras everywhere, and we can do that things. People speaking in my ear, people running around to get me things. You know me, I'm such a prima donna, and there's a whole army of people who thought out these other things. But I thought, my friend Aline, I'm going to just do it via Zoom because it can be nice and personal, and it's easier that way. So I thought, because it's St. Andrew's Day, I know you prepared a couple of fantastic pieces for us. We had a wonderful chat with Ray or Shell, all the way over in the States. You know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. So that was lovely. And guess what the topic of conversation was?
Donald.
Had to be, didn't it? Had to be.
Let the wind blow high, let the wind blow low. Down the street in the kilt I'll go. All the lasses cry hello. Donald, where's your trousers? Do you, I want to ask you a question, a personal question.
Of course.
Is anything worn underneath the kilt?
Well, it depends where you go. I guess if you go to the fast food chains, they would have a couple of quarter-pounders.
Oh dear! I thought you knew all the old jokes.
I had to do the old ones. Ronnie Corbett, 1942.
Something like that, yeah. Something like that.
Joy.
Anyway, so I just said, let the wind blow high, let the wind blow low. Biden's ill, so I have to go. That makes sense.
It does.
And all the ladies cry, oh no, Donald, put on your trousers.
Quite appropriate in this current year. It's always a joy. But we've been seeing the news today. I mean, what is interesting, and we plan these things weeks in advance, and we sort of say, well, what's likely to be on the headlines? And it's been the same narrative for weeks and weeks and weeks, months actually now, hasn't it? It's all about Donald Trump, who's the master media manipulator. Fantastic stuff. And it's all about
him, don't you?
What's that, sorry?
You like Donald, don't you?
I tell you what I like, and it's not a political statement, as I said on the show.
Yes, darling.
What I said it's not a political statement. I think he is the master of manipulating the media. He can control whatever happens. The thing I don't like is when things are not balanced in the media. If everybody just says they all hate him, well, they clearly don't all hate him because 73 million people voted for him. So what I try to do is, and people sometimes misunderstand and say, oh, it's a political thing. Well, it's not. What I do, and you get it, because I will always try and balance things.
I know.
However irritating it might be.
No, but I mean, I really dislike him very much. I really do. And my son doesn't dislike him, of course, because he's contrary,
Oh no, but everybody's entitled to an opinion. What I like, though, and you know I'll always do this, is give people a platform for debate. So what I don't like is when the media shut people off or whatever. And it's right. Ask questions, question everything as we always do. You talk about things forensically. If people say there's been a fraud, let's see the evidence. That's okay. What I saw on the media, though, was poor old Giuliani. Did you see that? The poor old, talk about a bad hair dye. Poor guy, it's true. I mean, if ever it got to, and why is it? I often think there's men who dye their hair, they never get it as well done as women who dye their hair.
You don't dye yours?
No, what is mine is I dyed it grey. It's
Yes, that's what I thought.
It always looks good because
I thought you'd had a grey rinse. It's fashionable at the moment.
Oh, it is fashionable. So could I be fashionable? I see. I've got my little bit of tartan on. I've got my Balmoral.
Yes, I noticed you've got your tartan jacket on. Yes, what's the name of the woman? I've forgotten her name already. But anyway, no, I thought that you did. I thought you did touch it up a little bit.
No, I don't. You asked me that before. You thought it was a wig as well last
time. I did ask you about a wig, yeah. Right. I want to know, I like your beard.
Oh, thank you. Well, I grow this for Movember. So Movember is the men's charity raising awareness and money for mental health and also to get people checked. So testicular cancer and various other things.
When did I last speak to you? Because I'm sure you didn't have it before.
Oh, I know. I've been growing a beard ever since we last spoke. I think that's the thing. Well, I started, I can tell you, Aline, I started at the beginning of November. That's when we started growing the beard. And I've been doing this for 10 years now, raising money and awareness. So as you know, I have a few pet charities, and through the generosity of members of the Magic Circle, members of the public, they've all gone to Movember, Andrew Eborn's page, and they've donated. And it's all about, I say, it's much about raising awareness and getting people to make sure they check.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't grown a beard. I'm sorry.
No, you haven't. You always look stunning, which is wonderful. And the other great
one thing I can't do.
And that's the only thing. Everything else I know you can do.
And what about, I just want to say one thing that I was going to say, because we've been messing about now, of course. So we're all too much now, haven't we? We've got too much already. I mean, everybody. I do think the 3-minute thing is worrying. I did see some of the show, but I did think they were too short, the bits.
You see, well, it's a balance, isn't it, between leaving them wanting more, and you're right, because you and I will chat for days in this sort of Zoom.
I didn't want more. I just thought, well, no, why can't they explain things a bit,
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, no, I mean, it's a good point. So
I didn't see Ray. I didn't see Ray because I was still trying to get on. But I did get on. And then he came and told me that I'd got onto the wrong thing or something.
The great thing about it.
And he put me off it again.
The joys of technology. I think what there is, there are some formats which work really well as what they call long form, isn't it? Where we can just, and you and I, we work very well. We could talk forever, couldn't we? Which is lovely. So that's sort of you should have an hour show with just the double A or the triple A, the amazing Aline and Andrew show, and we could do that. And I think that's for a lot of people that's sometimes a really good environment because you get into things in more details. And everything else. For a magazine show, that's what they do. And I think you're right. We should look at the length of it. Let's work out how long each guest should be. And sometimes, if they're interested, you can get them get a bit longer. Make it a concertina. Have that sort of flexibility.
Well, that would be good. But the other thing we could do, we could do the Aline WAITES show as we go.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'll be a little guest if I sit back a bit. There we go. That'll make me look small with my halo.
You look sweet. You've got a halo, yes.
I've got a halo. Is that good?
Oh, yes, I've got to put my light on. Anyway, I didn't do it. I wasn't ready for this, you see. I wasn't ready. I'd already done all sorts of things. I'd written to lots of people and things and thinking it was all, that was it. And then you suddenly appeared. So, oh, wadsome power, the gifty geas. What's about the gift years? I can't remember it now. To see what I've forgotten it. I forgot. So forget it. It's because I was prepared for it. No, I'm not prepared for it. So I won't do it.
Alicia,
I
talk
did it
about
on my
Kevin. Here we are.
no.
So you have one of
Oh,
those. This is Cookie. They always say don't have cookies on computers, but this is Cookie.
oh,
Love
darling Cookie. Well, I mean, I've been talking to Copper.
I
Did I,
know. So
did I
we
say
have our own cats. We have a lovely little kitty. And she came in at the right moment. What Cookie normally does, she comes and sits behind me on these Zoom calls and we have that look sort of thing. But you saw that in the news today that the Queen had her first virtual concert via Zoom as well. So it's all taking over. Yeah, she did. So I mean, she learned how to do Zoom calls in the summer. In June.
You know that my son's not allowed to do Zoom, don't you?
Why is that?
Because Fred, my grandson, is living at home, and apparently it's terribly easy for wicked people to get into Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is this, isn't it? And this is why
in the same house as my son.
Well, that's the interesting thing. So whenever I do these Zoom calls, I always send it to people just beforehand. So because we've had meetings, Equity have had meetings where people pop in and that sort of stuff.
Oh, like Mandy. She got in, didn't she?
But that's what
I didn't get into that one.
Well, this is why when they do the TV thing, which you so the Andrew Eborn Show on Stellar TV, it's like Fort Knox. So you have this wonderful long password and nobody can guess it and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can imagine.
I want to learn to do that. I want to learn to do it all.
So it's great, but that's the great thing about it.
Since then, I've been working on it, and I've been looking at VMAX, whatever it is.
Wonderful.
VMAX, I don't know.
But the techie, I have to say that the people at Media Powerhouse are superb. We have a whole army of people. And I'll tell you what I genuinely like, and I mentioned this on the show as well, is that we're trying to get people back working again, because they've all been sat at home, they've all done these Zoom shows and everything else. And it's not just those in front of the camera, but there are several. For every one person in front of the camera, there is an army, as I've realized, and we want you.
I know that from doing
an army behind the scenes. And a lot of people at home won't realize. It's the same with musicians. I had a lot of musicians on the show and so on and so forth. You have one performer getting all the limelight in stage, they're missing that, but that is also an army of people behind the scenes engaging that. So what I like is that this is the next stage. The Andrew Eborn Show launched on St. Andrew's Day with a very special guest, Aline WAITES. It is the start of trying to work with the new, I hate the phrase the new normal, but trying to work in these change times. And so the great thing about it, we had, I don't know, the production values are significantly higher than me in front of my little computer. They have 4 cameras. They have camera people all over. They have a bank of engineers. And they do all that sort of stuff.
I counted 3 cameras. I didn't count 4.
Oh, you didn't see where the other one was.
No, obviously not. You don't think I've not been looking, do you?
You did ask the question about the kilts, didn't you? So
you didn't give me the answer. You're supposed to know all the old jokes. I asked you the oldest joke was anything worn underneath the kilt. You know the answer to that.
Go on then.
Worn? No, it's all in strict working order. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I can't think of it. Well, what some powers are lift gifted gears to see ourselves as others see us. That word frame many a blunder, fierce and foolish notion. That's very important.
Absolutely.
And do you know why he wrote that poem?
Why did he write that?
Because he came into contact with a very posh lady who thought she was God, and she disliked everybody. Everybody else was rubbish, including him. And he was quite upset. And then he looked at her bonnet and found she had a louse running around on her bonnet. So he wrote that little piece. Yes, it made him laugh so much.
Oh, I think it's so right, isn't it? I mean, people take themselves far too seriously, and I've got no time for pretension. But at the same time, I have time for everybody from every walk of life. Because if people themselves, just be yourself, because everybody else is taken. And I think that is so much easier, isn't it?
I wish people would be themselves, you know?
Yeah, because you know,
Oh,
it's the thing I always say: if you prick me, do I not bleed? If you tickle me, do I not laugh? Basically, and you work. People are the same. What I also like is that these are issues we can talk about, and we talk about long-term things. I mean, it came up today, wasn't planned or anything, but we started talking about Sherlock Holmes and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
yeah, well, you could have had Larry on to talk about
Well,
Sherlock.
we will do, and this is the great thing about it. We can have lots of people. What I wanted, and what they asked me to do is, and this is why I jumped to say, absolutely, it's a platform for the
Yeah,
arts, if you like. It's a
that's
platform
good. But
because
as
at the
long as
moment
people
nobody's
are
doing it.
funny, darling, you've got to have funny people.
Oh no, exactly. But people have got to start somewhere, and I think the whole idea is to get people a bigger audience, make things commercial, try and get sponsorship and advertising, and all the sort of things that makes it
Yeah,
all flow.
we're going to try and do that.
Which is brilliant. And then we can start getting people and giving them a wider platform, because there's so many people at home. I mean, the good doctor today, Clive Jackson, who is the lead singer of Doctor and the Medics, had 23 million copies of that sold. A huge hit, Spirit in the Sky, was absolutely wonderful. And he came all the way in today, sat in the studio with me, and we talked and so on and so forth. And he was just so pleased to be back in a professional environment where we can talk about the light-hearted stuff. We can talk about St Andrew's Day, talk about performing, but also talk about important things like mental health as well, because it's an important topic.
I mean, we do. I mean, we talk about anything, don't we? Really?
Oh, we do. We love our chats, and we will continue our chats, because I think. I mean, you sent me a lot of notes.
What are you going to do with this then? What we're doing now?
Well, this will go out today. This is St Andrew's Day. Oh no, this is it. I'm going to send you straight as soon as we finish being super efficient. You're going to have like a whole show to yourself. This is the
I like that. I like.
This is the Aline WAITES show with Andrew Eborn as a tiny little vent show, and the cat comes on.
I just want to say something to you. Please don't say that we've talked about sex and Barry Cryer and. I find that quite well.
You do know it's only clickbait. I mean, I hadn't even mentioned that name. What you had to do now, if you go through the Hollywood A-listers, I can put them all in the little thing underneath, and it could be clickbait. So who? What you should tell me? Did you know Darth Vader? Reed. Oh, you know Oliver Reed. You've mentioned him many times. Did you know Darth Vader?
Who is this Oliver Reed you keep talking about?
I know. What about Darth Vader, who sadly passed?
Oh, my Robin. Robin got his rib broken.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he was in a movie or TV or something. What did he do? Did he do movies or TV?
Well, he did all sorts of he was a Darth Vader in Star Wars and that sort of stuff.
He was Darth Vader, yes.
And before that, he was the Green Cross man.
That's right, because I got him confused with Doogie. That's Joe's father. Who was the Jolly Green Giant.
Oh yes, yes. I have all this
confused. So it was Joe who told me. Yes. But didn't Robin tell you that's how he broke his rib? We got hugged by the Darth Vader.
Oh, is that what happened? Oh, what a great story!
Hugged him and broke his rib.
Oh my goodness! Because he was a giant of a man. And
yes,
I met him once at one of these Comic-Con festivals, which are incredibly popular, where they have all these characters. They come down and they charge £20 or £50 or £100 or £1,000, depending on how famous you are, to have an autograph and a photo with them. And he sat, and there was a huge, long line of people ready to have their photo with him. And they get very grumpy if you go along with your camera and stand next to them, because they miss out on the revenue, and you mustn't do that. So don't try that. Well, certainly don't try it twice if you don't want your ribs broken. So it's got to be.
He was actually doing a scene in a movie, I think. That he wasn't. Yes, he was actually, working with him, and they just went on recording. So Robin, you do if you're working with something, you don't think about you. Rib being broken.
No, absolutely.
Afterwards. But I didn't know about this. It was Joe that told me this, because I was telling Aya about about Doogie being the Jolly Green Giant, you see, when he talked about Darth Vader, and got confused.
Well, you will confuse your superheroes, and they're all in masks anyway, so they could be socially distanced and that sort of. Well, the other thing which I found hilarious, and he was quite upset about it at the time, was that they didn't use his voice.
That's right.
And they were saying on the screen that they used to refer to him on the set as Darth Farmer. Because he had this wonderful accent, which wasn't Darth Vader at all.
Oh, and who was it? Who was it?
And which is glorious. She was on telly today. A number of people sort of reminiscing, which was wonderful. But what I love about it, what's really, really good, is that people will come on and share the memories. And I always make this point, is that when anybody passes, and we've lost a lot of people very, very recently, and it's tragic, absolutely tragic. The most tragic thing of all is people don't say the nice things they say about them during their lifetime. And that doesn't happen enough. And I've spoken with you. We've talked about this beforehand.
We've talked about it a lot, yes. We have.
But it's important. And if there's one message from today, from St. Andrew's Day, which we can leave everybody on, is that make that phone call, because that is the time. Today may be the last chance that you.
I'm trying to do some things at the moment about that. Yes, all the time.
So if there's ever a platform, and this is the one in the Zoom, we're all Zoomed, as they say in Dad's Army. What I love about this, it gives a chance to say, look, connect. Because if you can do this one-to-one, and people the other side of the world, I know it's difficult in lockdown and people can't do that. But Zoom calls, I mean, and other video platforms as well. If you can speak to somebody the other side of the world, do it. Because it's no good. You can guarantee they're probably sitting at home feeling quite miserable and wishing that somebody would build that bridge.
Yes, well, maybe. Now, I want to know what's going to happen now then. I mean, when do you want me to come on the show? I just can't work it out.
Oh, are you invited on the show? You're invited on the show today. You were going to come on live. I even built you in.
I couldn't get on.
I had the wonderful long schedule with your name on it and everything.
No, I know, darling. And they kept ringing me up. And I said, well, you really need me. Yes, we do need you. Oh, well, anyway, we didn't in the end. And Matt worked.
I think what's lovely is what we should do, because that's not the only platform. What I think what suits us well is you prefer as well, and so do I. I like our long chats.
Yes, long chats are good.
Because we can talk about everything, because our chats normally go on about 3 times as long as my main my live program.
Yes, and that's the thing. The thing is, do you want me to go on the Andrew Eborn Show on television?
You are always welcome. I keep sending the invitations out, and you're always welcome.
I can't get on.
I know. Well, in any event, then what we'll do, because there's a whole team of people who help with that sort of stuff. What I like is when I can send you a quick link and you go boom, and you're off and you're here, which is good. So we will always make sure that we have an opportunity to speak, and we will tell the world, because the Aline WAITES Show with Andrew Eborn occasionally is a fantastic show.
Starring,
I love it.
Aline WAITES Show starring Andrew Eborn.
Well, no, he's an understudy. He's just he just happens to be on occasionally, which is good. But I love that, because the feedback to the Aline WAITES Show,
I know they
nothing but sensational, and all your chums are discovering it, aren't they?
I don't know. I haven't heard whether I don't know whether they logged on this morning.
No, I'm talking about your show, not my show. I'm talking about your show. When you and I had the chat, lots of people.
That was advertised, darling. That was the thing.
Lots of people say lovely things about you, and when you come on.
Well, I'm lovely. That's why.
Isn't that lovely? You are lovely. As opposed to a monster.
You know what that song was? When I said I introduce you to my friends, and that's the last I see of you. The thing that happens next in this show is that all the friends come and swarm over this wonderful person so that he can't see her. That's what that meant. It wasn't mean at all. And the title of the song is Everyone's in love with you. That's the title of the song. So that's not, I didn't mean it. I just thought it was a coincidence. I introduced you to my friends, and then that's the last I see of you because everybody's forming around you.
Oh, no, that's very sweet. Well, you know, it's not the last. You can't get rid of me that easily. I'm still
Yeah,
here.
but I mean, that was what, that
Oh, I
was
see.
what
Well,
that's
that's very
you
lovely.
got right. You got quite angry.
Oh, no. I thought my,
No, I don't want to talk about
oh, no, I didn't. No, I wasn't.
using.
Oh, no, I wasn't angry. I think
I don't want to talk about using. You said, no.
No, I wasn't angry. My concern was that's I wouldn't leave you. And that's why I say it. And that's the thing. When I didn't see you on the show this morning, on the live show, the first thing I did as I walked through the door was get you on the platform that you understood and you could click on, and here I am. And I thought we could have our thing on St. Andrew's Day, which will go straight out, and I'll send you the link and you can populate it in the usual way, which is fantastic. So what we should do, we should finish on the wonderful song, and you can pick it. You can either do whatever you like, or you can finish on your poem, but finish on an appropriate St. Andrew's Day. And thank you for letting me be on your show. And I'm going to let you play us out with the song that you would like to do. I'm going to give you your close-up as well. Here we go. See, I'm on my own gallery. I can do it all myself. Little click. The close-up is on you. Whenever you're ready, you're off.
If your luck is counting zero, get your chin up off the floor. Mister, you can be a hero. You can open any door. There's nothing to it but to do it. You gotta have heart. Da, da, da. You all you really need is heart. I can't sing in tune. It's fine to be a genius, of course, but put that old horse before the cart. La da da da. First you gotta have heart.
That is such a lovely message.
It's a wonderful song, isn't it?
I love it, absolutely love it, and it's heartfelt. And I think you're right, and you are all heart, and you have a special place. You have a special place in my heart, and thank you so much for allowing me to be on the Aline WAITES show.
And it's not about sex. or
I love it.
Oliver Reed.
I know, it's got to be good. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your St. Andrew's Day. I'll see you soon. Lots of love.
All right, honey.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, okay. When am I coming back? I can't do Wednesday, I know.
We'll speak soon. Take care. Check that diary. Bye-bye.
Bye.